Well, the first place we're going to go is the most recently created public artwork in London, and it's located on the south side of Namarin Friendship Centre on Huron Street. And it's called the We Are Still Here mural by Ojibwe artist and storyteller Mike Cywink. So just a backstory on this, Mike Cywink worked with 3 Indigenous youths over several months in the summer of 2022 to paint a 7-panel mural. I mean, it is big, it is huge. And the meaning and significance behind this is really important because in one sense, it serves to increase public awareness and knowledge of the history of Canada's residential school system. And secondly, it serves to honor the residential school survivors and the children who were lost through the system. And third, it celebrates Indigenous culture and knowledge and histories. And it's also worthy to note that Cywink invited a group of local residential school survivors to not only inform the overall sensibility of the mural, but to actually contribute to its physical creation, to the actual painting of the mural, particularly the 4th panel, which is called 215. So the mural was installed in September 2022, and it's arguably the most socially and culturally important public artwork here in London. As we move forward together, we must never forget what has happened. We have survivors who walk amongst us. We have children of survivors who are dealing with intergenerational trauma and trying their best to break the cycle of pain and hurt. No matter what we do, we must always look ahead, whether it is the youth of today, the newborns, or the ones who are coming 7 generations from now. We must always think of them in everything we do. So there is so much meaning in this mural, and in each of the 7 panels that encompass this mural. We not only encourage you to see this mural and experience it firsthand where it is, but we also encourage you to read about the project and the description of each panel at the Indigenous London Arts website.
The mural on its own is a really beautiful thing to see physically yourself. The colors are bold and vibrant. They're well chosen, the lines are smooth and fluid, and it just helps in articulating the whole purpose of this public art piece on its own. It's clear that the artist himself has been influenced by other Indigenous artists, but you can see that he comes to his own as the work itself progresses. And it's just a wonderful piece to actually look at on its own, yes. They all kind of fall into my kind of art, which is colorful, bold, bright. But the one that really stands out to me would be 215, that's panel 4. And the reason why it's because he used gray as a background instead of all of the different types of colors that he used in every other panel out there. And it's because at that point in time, he was more or less speaking about the result of the residential schools, the history behind it, the pain, the trauma that came out of it, and it did not just stop there. It continued on even up till today and most possibly into the future. It's a really great part of the history of North America on its own, and it's something that we always have to hold on to, something that we have to always reflect on, so as to not repeat the same thing again, whether today or in the future.
A local group of residential school survivors also helped to paint that panel, painting little kind of circular stars in the sky to symbolize resilience and to never forget the timeliness of the survivors' resiliency. For me, I really like the second panel because it really illustrates and symbolizes Indigenous people's deep connection to the land and to the water. But there was also a quote that Cywink said about that panel, which was, "To know where you are going, you have to know where you are coming from."
It shows us what the city has gone through and how it's also evolving. And it also ties back to what Cywink said as well about storytelling, especially as an artist. Even with this work here, you can see it from the beginning to the end. The first panel starts out with the rising of the sun, and it now ends with the seventh panel, with the setting of the sun. It's a whole day, but at the same time, it is thousands of years, thousands of history, and also a lesson that we can pick out of it as to how we should approach the present as well as the future.